Alright. Hey everyone, how's it going? Uh, welcome to Building Your Reverse mobile app. I'm just going to provide the check-in link one more time, just if you didn't get it already. I just put it in chat. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Yeah, I'd love to hear if anyone has experience in mobile app development or what y'all are looking forward to building. Yeah, we'll be sure to get started in just a minute. But to give like a basic kind of outline of what we're going to be doing is we're basically going to be building an app using Flutter and Dart, and we're going to be basically this is going to be a 3-part stream across the week, and then basically you all are kind of going to decide what I'm going to be building. So at the moment, I'm going to be using just a standard Flutter like beginner app guide that you could find on the Google developer site. And we're going to be going through it together. So if y'all have any questions, just put them in chat and we can cut those bugs together. But in the later streams, what we're going to be doing is actually trying to recreate stuff that you think are cool. So for example, if you found an app that you think has a cool feature and you want to kind of see how that would actually be created, just put it in chat, and then that's something I can do for stream part 2 or 3. Yeah, so if you have ideas, let me know. But yeah, I guess I'll just get into it. So first off, just a basic introduction to Flutter. It's basically just a framework for building apps. The reason I chose this is just because it's very user-friendly. I found compared to some other methods, it's just very easy to get into in order to just kind of spin something up. And there's also, so we're going to be using Android Studio here, and that has a lot of stuff kind of built in with using Flutter in mind. So it's very good for that. There's a lot of stuff you don't have to worry about. Let's see, have you seen the mobile layouts from Midjourney? I have not. Let's look at that. Ooh, this looks very cool. It's very, very cool. Wow. It's kind of trippy, if I'm honest. But yeah, I think I'd totally be down to do this in part 2 or 3. Yeah, the background especially. Yeah, thanks for showing me that. But these are a few examples of kind of what Flutter app designs can kind of look like. And it's created by Google, as I mentioned. And what we're going to be following here let's see. I just also put the link for the part 1 guide. So in this part of the stream, this is what we're gonna kind of be creating our app off of. And then in the later streams, we're gonna be kind of creating stuff on the fly. Uses generative AI to generate layouts for mobile apps and web pages. That's pretty cool. But yeah, start off just getting the dependencies out of the way. There's a few things. One is just Flutter itself. So in order to download Flutter, you just go to flutter.dev, get started, and then while I'm using Windows, so I would click Windows. And then you just get the Flutter SDK. So I already have it, but you can just download it from there. And the one thing you want to remember to do is update your path. So if you're using Windows, go to your search bar, type in edit environment variables, or just type environment variables, and it will come up. And you basically follow the directions here, and then you basically add the Flutter path as a global variable. And let me cd2 Flutter Doctor here. So first I'll find my actual Flutter installation. And I'll just cd to where my Flutter location is. So when you download the Flutter SDK, you want to go to the Flutter /bin, the location where that is in your computer, and you just want to cd there. And then you just want to do Flutter Doctor. Morning, did I miss anything? No, you didn't miss anything. We basically just started. Yep. And you want to run Flutter Doctor. Just make sure everything's fine. The only thing here is that it says Visual Studio is missing some components, which doesn't really matter for us because we're using Android Studio anyway, so that's not a big deal. But yeah, everything else looks to be good, so that's good to go. So that's where you would download Flutter. And then for Android Studio, basically go to developer.android.com/studio, and you just download the newest version right there. And we're going to go through setting up a device and everything, but just make sure you have that downloaded. And the last thing you want to make sure you have downloaded is Dart. So Dart is basically the language that we're going to be using. So get Dart. So the easiest way that I found to install Dart is by using Chocolatey. So Chocolatey is kind of like a package manager, kind of like pip if you've used Python before. But it's pretty simple. All you do is open PowerShell. You run this command right here, and it'll basically allow you to install Chocolatey using PowerShell. Once you have Chocolatey, you basically can run this Chocolatey command, and then once you've run that, you basically get Dart. And if you haven't, I know people are going to do that at different rates. So if you have questions or things that or hiccups that happen, oh, there we go. Thanks for letting me know, Alien. But if there are hiccups that happen with the installation, just let me know, and we can, yeah, I can help you fix those issues. So basically the four things are Flutter, Android Studio, Dart, Chocolatey. And then this is the actual guide we're going to be using today. So let me open up Android Studio here. All right, so basically all I did here was file, new project, standard stuff. And then there's an option called create new Flutter project, and you just click that option. And then basically this is what it creates. It creates this little project with all these folders created for you. But to kind of go over what exactly is in here, there's really only a few things of note. A lot of this you actually don't necessarily need to tinker with, just as it does a lot of that stuff on its own. All of the Android code Well, right here is the lib folder. So this, let me rename this actually. Let me just call it main. So just call this main. And this is basically where a lot of your code is going to be, is in this lib folder right here. And let me also just make a new directory called screens. So this is what we're going to be using for all the different screens of our app. And that's just where we're going to store those. The other thing is pubspec.yaml. This is basically used to list out all of your dependencies. So for example, the material design dependency is one that's used in so many Flutter applications. So for example, that's going to be one they're going to be adding here. All right, and for the one thing we're going to be needing is an actual Android device in order to actually run our code. So if I open search, Android, I type in Android SDK, it brings me to right here. There's a few things to note here. The main thing is SDK platforms. And you basically checkmark the Android version that you want. I have Android Tiramisu just because that's the version with the highest API level. It's the most recent. Oops. So I use Tiramisu here. The other thing you kind of want to do is go to SDK tools and check Android SDK command line tools. That's just something I find generally useful. So I recommend installing that. But in terms of actually creating something, let's create a device. So let's see. Let's say I want to use the Pixel 4a. That sounds good. Tiramisu, that's fine. If I want in portrait. Yep, that's all pretty good. So just click finish. And then let's see, I want to make this pop out. See, didn't want it in the window. Let me actually just put this as duct, actually. Here we go. This is basically our Android device. Like we can open Google Chrome. No, thanks. We can swipe up. We can do all sorts of stuff. But in order to actually run our code, we pick our emulator, which is the Pixel 4a. we run our code. Yep, I just want to run this, basically my, why is it named like that? Okay, so this didn't update. It should just be main.dart. Oop. Okay, so we can basically see that it didn't run on our Android app because we haven't actually configured it to do that. But it just ran the simple thing, which was just return 6 times 7. So it was hello world 42 was the message here. So we know that it runs, which is all we really need. All right, just give me a second here, y'all. I just need to fix something real quick. All right, never mind, I'm back. All right, but for the actual code, let's go to our guide right here. All right, so Alright, so here it gives us our pubspec.yaml. And looking at this, we're going to be using the English underscore words dependency, the provider dependency, and then we're going to be using material design. And then, of course, like my Flutter app isn't named this, so this would change. And then we need to open another pre-made file within our project, which is analysis underscore options.yaml. And we basically just replace it with what it has going on right here. Quick question, do we need to install Dart separately from Flutter? Only the website says that the Flutter SDK includes the full Dart SDK. and has Dart's Dart command line interface in its bin folder. Let me see. You might actually just need to install Flutter in that case. In which case, it'd be easier. I know when I tried to do this, I had to install them separately. Granted, this was a while ago, so it probably changed in that time. But I would say that try just doing Flutter first, and if you're running into an issue, install Dart separately. But yeah, if you just need Flutter and it has Dart prepackaged with it, then yeah, that's totally great. Yep. So we just edit our analysis underscore options.yaml, and we basically have it say this instead. And all it really does is change like how it analyzes your code. So when the analyzer is kind of saying that things are wrong, you can tell it to chill out a little bit. All right. And then when we go into our main, oh, and when I have right here, pubspec has been edited, I'll click get dependencies, just so it runs pub.get. So all the dependencies that I said, like all these, it just downloads. Okay, cool. Huh, I thought there was like a different pop-up option for this emulator, but I mean it should be fine. All right. So this is the code from the startup guide, and I'll just go over what all of this means. So first, these are the 3 packages we're going to be using: English underscore words, material, and provider.dart. This is the basis of the app right here. So we just have our function main, and then it basically says run my app. And this is what's called a widget. So Flutter is basically based upon widgets. And let me actually go back to... Oh, thanks. Yeah, I keep doing that. So just to get a better idea. Let's go to the architectural overview, just so we can get an idea of like how this kind of is made. So there's a few components of Flutter. The main ones I would say are material, which material.dart does for us. Has a lot of like basically UI elements that look nice. Widgets, which are basically kind of functions of elements that you want to do certain things. Rendering is just rendering what you want to be displayed onto the actual device. And then animations, self-explanatory. And then a lot of that other stuff you don't really need to mess with, but here we have, so this is basically explaining what widgets are. So if you could, so I think this gives a good idea of kind of how the app is structured. So first you have, so for this widget you're building it. First there's home, then there's app bar, which I'll point it out, but it should be pretty familiar to you all in terms of visually how it looks. There's the title of your app, the body, child. You can add columns, and then all kinds of padding, and then you can have buttons. And then, for example, for this button, you just have an on-pressed option, which is just a simple like example 1 that just prints click whenever you press that button. But that's generally how it's structured, and they kind of build on top of each other, so they can kind of nest within each other. And then a lot of widgets, like it says here, are composed of many other small widgets. So basically, like functions, you have functions, small functions that do sorts of things, and when you combine all those functions together, it creates a very powerful function. So let's go back. Oh my god, did I do it again? I did it again. I totally did it again. I'm sorry. Oh, jeez. There we go. There we go. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. All right. But this is basically what I was pointing to the architectural overview. Basically saying how this right here kind of has the format of what a widget is. It basically goes from quite literally top to bottom of like how a widget is structured, from like the top app bar and the kind of title to the bottom part. Let me see, is there anything else important here? Okay, I think that's most of it. Let me actually, yeah, let me do this just so the code is a bit bigger. I think that'll be better. But right here, like I mentioned, this is our app right here. So title, let's say, title is Global Hack Week January. So kind of like what I showed before, we have the widget, which is building. And then we have material app, which is just the standard material design. And then it has a orange design. And then for the home, we're going to be having a stateless widget called My Homepage that we're just going to be kind of linking to here. So My Homepage is a stateless widget. So there are two kinds of widgets. There's stateless widgets and stateful widgets. Stateless widgets can't be changed. They're like stagnant. But there's stateful widgets, which are things that you would change. So basically how you might want to do it is you might have a stateful widget that kind of derives certain things from stateless widgets, being the parts that you don't want it to be like messing around with, basically. So basically all it really has here is some text, and then appstate.current as lowercase. So right here we have the app state, which is basically wordpair.random, and wordpair is basically a function of this English underscore words package. So all it really does is it basically gives a pair of random words, and that's gonna be our My Homepage, which is going to be our home in our app. So let's actually just run this just to see what it looks like. Let's see what the errors are. Okay. So we had this error come up because it didn't find Dart UI. Oh wait, was that just that's Actually, let me just try saving and reloading Android Studio because I changed the name of it, which might be messing with it. Let's see if that affected it. Okay, yeah. So now it says main.dart. Yeah. So basically, this has the dart icon. This has the flutter icon. So this is the one that we want. That makes sense. And let's. Where is. So let's just open our device right here. All right, starting up. Ooh. Okay, so it says we're missing the Android manifest. That was the thing I was trying to find before, but I couldn't. This is why. Okay, so let's try running this one more time. Okay, that looks like a much better message. Less scary. How's everyone's day going? Good? Y'all feeling thoroughly confused or excited about programming? Yep, so it's just running it right now, so that'll just take a sec. All right. Let's see. How'd you get to min.dart? Was there when you made a new Flutter application? So when I created a new, so basically in Android Studio, you just go to new project, and there should be an option for a new Flutter project. So I just clicked that, and instead of main.dart, it'll just be called whatever your project name is .dart. So for example, my project is called Global Hack Week _January .dart, or the Global Hack Week _January is my project name. So it was originally called Global Hack Week January .dart, but I just renamed it main.dart just so it's simplified. But that's the equivalent of what it would be. Right. Okay, so that is what it's supposed to look like. I just want to make sure because they had a thing about. No, oops. So this is what it's supposed to look like. So it's just very simple to start off. All right. Let's go back here. And let me actually just zoom in. There we go. It's easier to see. So this random idea thing is just checks that we've added. So one cool thing about Flutter that you can do is so if I change this a random idea colon to this message right here, instead of recompiling the app, which you saw it like took a minute to do, instead of using Flutter, I can do Flutter hot reload, which is up here. And when I click it, boom, it instantly changed. So if you make smaller changes like that, you can basically just hot reload it instead of having to recompile the whole project, which is really nice. It's very useful. Let's get back to the guide. All right, so it says it wants us to add a button. Basically, we just replace our scaffold right here. And all we've added is this elevated button, which when we hot reload, so if you notice down here, let me actually zoom in on this. So we have an elevated button right here called next. When we click, it makes a small sound, and then it says button pressed whenever we click it. So it does do something that we know, which is the important thing. This is just explaining how states work. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to add a new method to this word pair dot random function right here. And instead of, so how we have with this is that it just prints button pressed. But instead, we're going to do appstate.getNext. And let me put it back. So now when I hot reload, now when I click next, actually, let me just, so now we have it so that whenever we click next, instead of just saying a button pressed, it adds a new pair of words. So now, so we basically made it so that current, which was right here, is a new word pair dot random. And we can basically do this as much as we want, and it keeps generating new words. And as I mentioned before, this first part right here is kind of the baseline, but I really want to make something that's, I guess, more, I don't know, interesting to you all. So if you have any ideas, like that one person mentioned, I believe Alien, if you have any ideas of like cool things you've seen apps do, just let me know, and then that's something I can try to kind of recreate in parts 2 and 3. But now, so at the moment, it doesn't really look like much at all. The apps look kind of crap, honestly. But now we're basically going to add some UI elements to basically just make it pretty. Basically comparing what we had before to what we have now. So we basically simplified this so that the word pair is basically appstate.current. Then we have our elevated button and everything else, so it's just a bit simplified. And then right here, I believe, Basically, we want to extract a widget from the what we had previously. So instead of text pair.as lowercase, we basically made it so that it's a new widget called big card, which basically uses at lowercase.here, which we can then manipulate on its own. Let's see, so instead of this text, which was just the pairs, refactor. Let's see. Basically, we're going to replace the widget that we had before with a few things. One, we have just a theme. And then we have a card, so that's basically what big card is for. So it has color, and the most important thing is it has padding. I was trying to figure, the reason why it took me so long was I was trying to figure out how to do this with Android Studio. I believe VS Code has something pre-built. I'm not sure where it does in Android Studio, but basically we have our padding right here, and we have our same pair dot as lowercase. So now we have it so that it uses our different color scheme, and then it has some padding on the actual text. So now you can see that padding is dynamic. So depending on the length of the word, it'll have a different size, basically. Which, yeah, in this context, it's not like super interesting, but I think in general, that's a very good kind of thing to know how to do within an app. Is just something that dynamically sizes itself as a kind of card. Let's actually change the color here. Let's see. I think the theme for Global Hack Week is like yellow. that. Maybe. There you go. I like purple more. Cool. Oh, and one thing that you probably have noticed is green. So if I set this to green, for example, and if I so watch the purple right here. So you see how it didn't just like insta change to green, and how it kind of did like a kind of like a transition. So that's an implicit animation. So a lot of Flutter widgets do that, where they basically, when they go between two different values, they don't just automatically go between them. They kind of interpolate between them so that they do a cool animation like that. I just thought that was kind of neat to point out. We are going to change up the, oops. We're going to change up the build card, basically text theme. Because at the moment it's a bit harder to read. So there we go. Stock rank. That actually sounds like a hackathon project name. I don't know. Something about it gives me hackathon project vibes. The name stock rank. But anyway, as you can see, we basically have the edge inserts right here, and then with the style, we have it displays medium, just so the text is bigger and nicer. And when we click next, as before, it changes. Some of these are kind of funny, not gonna lie. And one thing I just did here was basically made a quick change to, so the thing is I like, there we go. So how it is right now is it's all lowercase, and I like that. So I just want to keep that. But one thing to note is that for stuff like screen readers, especially if you're like if you have like disabilities and you need to like use a screen reader for some reason, when it reads out certain things, it's a lot better if it's in Pascal case. But the thing is, you don't necessarily want that like all the time. So what you can do, this is actually very useful, is you can have it to where your actual text is still lowercase like it is here, but you can have the semantics label be in Pascal case, just so that you can still have it lowercase, just so it visually looks nicer. But you can have it to where the semantic label is as Pascal case, so that a screen reader could definitely it basically functions better on a screen reader, if that makes sense. Right. How's everyone doing so far, by the way? Any questions, comments, concerns? Having a good time, except for Pokemon in a little bit. And the next thing I think we're gonna do is something that was really annoying me, honestly, which is, so the reason I have to keep zooming in is that this thing isn't centered right now. So we're gonna try and center it. So what we're gonna do is we're make a is basically just add this right here. There we go. That's better. So now we have it to where it's aligned in the center. Where's scaffold? Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay. So the thing I was wondering was, so in Visual Studio Code, you can basically right-click, refactor, and there's a lot of different options here, more than there are here. But to get those options, all you have to do is Alt-Enter, on Windows at least. And so what I want to do is rep with center. There we go. There we go. That was just annoying me. There we go. Now it's perfectly centered. So that's one of the other reasons that I picked Flutter, is you don't even have to do half of these things. If you like go here, Alt Enter, you can do like rep with row, rep with the column, like how before it was repped with the column but wasn't repped with the center. And you can add padding and stuff like that, and you can just click it so that it does that for you. You don't necessarily have to do all of those things individually. And yep, this works. Cool bash. Try to see if there's any funny ones in here. You know what? I'll leave it on that one. That one's kind of funny. Okay, is the stream back up? Okay, if the stream went down for any of you, my internet went down really quick. I don't know, it's raining a lot here. Then there's like thundery stuff. So if the stream went down for you, that was why. Jeez, that scared me. All right, hopefully we should be good now. All right, but like I was saying, we basically have the like kind. Okay, it happened again. My stream went down. Or not stream, but okay, there we go. Hopefully everything is fine. I'm not sure why it turned off. I don't know. It's thundering and rainy, so that's probably why. But like I was saying, so we got some words here. Neat fish, sure. And so we basically have our words that we can like. But you know, we have the favorites, but we basically need to add a method so that we can actually like, so that the people or that the user can actually see the favorites. So, for example, if we favorite this, we can click next and it's marked as a favorite, but we can actually see it. So we need to add functionality so that we can actually see that. Basically what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be splitting my homepage into kind of two different things here. So we have my homepage, which is basically what we had before. It was the favorite system, like I mentioned. And then we also have the generator page, which basically generates the list of favorites from the favorites that we have in our list. So I'm not going super in depth with a lot of this just because it's very similar to what we've already covered. Like we have this right here. And if you want to add this row, all you had to do was click the elevator button, hold enter, wrap with row. So a lot of this is kind of repeats of what we've already done, which is good because we have the fundamentals now. So we now have the favorite functionality, and we have the functionality to actually build a kind of navigation rail. So now we have it where it's like this, where we have our navigation rail. I mean, it doesn't do anything right now, but if we like different things, we still can't see it. So we need to add the functionality to actually see it. See. And so what I just did is I basically converted my homepage, which was a state list widget, into a state full widget. So now we can have stuff that actually changes. So like I mentioned with a lot of other things, we don't have to do this entirely ourselves. We have our alt enter, which basically just allows us to convert this pretty quickly, which is very nice. So first we've got to change first we had to change a few things with my homepage state. So now we have our selected index, and then there. And then we basically have our set state, which basically sets the state, and that state is dynamic because it depends on what exactly is in our list. Now you can see that it's responsive, but it still doesn't actually do anything. And for this, we're basically just going to implement a throw. There we go. So up. Right. So basically, let me check if the stream is okay. Stream is still fine. That's good. I was afraid that it had like turned off again, but it didn't, which is nice. All right. So basically, what it was implementing was this right here, which is a break throw. So basically, right here we have our navigation pane. So we have our home, and then we have our likes page. So now we have something to where if it isn't implemented, it just has this standard kind of rectangle Xbox, which is nice because we know that it's there, but it's just not implemented. All right. So next, we're basically going to change the layout to actually display, the labels on that navigation pane. So, okay, so let's go to the scaffold right here. Start with builder. Just name this layout builder. All right, and the reason we made a layout builder is just because we want to make the constraints flexible. So basically, when the constraints of the page change, we want to make sure that the layout of the page changes along with that. So for example, if like the window is resized, or like how if something's in landscape but then portrait mode, it like shifts. This is basically what we're doing here. It's going to be dynamically changing based on that. Or if like a widget grows in size, we want to make the constraints of our my homepage be smaller. We're basically adding the constraints here with this, which is 600 pixels. Let me see. I want to try changing from portrait to landscape. Oh, no. There we go. Finally. But now, as you can see, even if it's in landscape, you see how there's not just like blank space here. It dynamically changed. Yep, so now the box is different too, actually. So if we go... Now if we go here, boom. Now it's changed again. So that's a really cool part of dynamic constraint changing. And it says that it overflow by 24 pixels on the right. That's fine for our purposes right here. But that is cool that in Android Studio lets you know when like a widget is off screen or when it like overflows off of the page. All right, and the final part here before we move on to our next activity, which is going to be some Pokemon. So basically implementing the favorite page itself. So right now, just that. But what we can do is we can change the app state yet again. And we're basically keeping track of it. So basically, well, one, we want to check if it's empty or not. And if it's empty, we just want to say that there's no favorites because we don't need to do anything. But if it isn't empty, we basically want to have a list view. A list view is kind of like a type of widget where you can have, it's basically a nice card kind of way of viewing all of the different word pairings that we're going to be liking. So we have some pattern right here. You have blank favorites, so it's just favorites.length. And then for each word pairing in appstate.favorites, it's creating a list tile. And that list tile is going to be having an icon, which is, it's just the icon.favorites icon. And then it's going to be the title, which is the as lowercase pairing. Now let's replace that placeholder real quick. Reload. Boom. So now we have it to where, well, actually, let me stop main.dar for a second and let's recompile it just so we see like from blank, like, because I want to show off the message that says that, you don't have any favorites. Right, so we'll go here, boom, no favorites yet. So it can tell that we don't have any favorites, but then when we like this, boom, we have a favorite. And again, like this isn't super complicated or anything, but I think this is pretty cool for one like sitting. What do y'all think? Because, like word pairings aren't the use cases you're probably going to be using in your apps, but just the fundamentals here I think are really important. Like having it dynamically change between landscape and portrait is really important. Having like a like system, like a lot of apps have something like a like system, so I think that's actually very important. You can basically copy and paste a lot of these functionalities and then tweak them based on what you have. So even if it necessarily isn't a like functionality, it might be something where the foundation of how it's built is similar. And I'm going to have a GitHub with all of this so that next time we can basically start off fresh, or start off from where we last left off so that we can keep going. And I can be able to basically what y'all think is interesting. That's pretty much the end of the stream for now, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having a stream for Pokemon coming up. And I'm going to be posting announcements for that in the Discord, so let me just do that. But what did y'all think? I genuinely want to know, like, is there something you think, I could improve with this workshop? Or are there any questions you have on how to build any of this? Let me know, and we can work that out before we move on to Pokemon. Can we use designs from a done Figma design? Absolutely. Quick note, the reason I have experience with Flutter is I actually used Flutter quite a bit during an internship that I had at General Mills as a software developer intern. And one of the things I had to do was build basically a full stack Flutter application as kind of like a demo, because I was building basically a feature for the app buddies that they have. And I basically built a demo built off of that Buddies app. And a lot of the assets that I used were Figma designs. So that's something that you can definitely do yourself if you have Figma designs. You can basically just, because they're very easy to export and just to get all of the icons individually, you can basically just have all of those, basically download those Figma designs as individual files. And then, yeah, you could definitely use those designs. Yep. So we're gonna get started with the Pokemon stream. In around 15 minutes, I'm gonna give you all a quick break. Yeah, in the meantime, I'll just be chilling here because I'm running that stream too. So if you have any questions, drop them in chat. If you have any questions about like internship stuff or general hackathon stuff, drop those in chat. I'm just gonna be chilling for a little bit until we have our Pokemon stream in 15 minutes. But if you don't have any questions, one thing I actually want to know, and this will influence our Pokemon stream, is what is your favorite generation of Pokemon? Or if you don't know the answer to that, what's your favorite Pokemon game? That's something I would really like to know. Because if people like, for example, Generation 3, then I'll maybe play the Generation 3 metagame, because I'm actually going to be playing some competitive Pokemon. Yep, that's Generation 3. Pokemon Emerald is one of my favorites. Honestly, it's so good. Then in 2019, when I got my first mobile, got a GBA and really didn't play them. Yeah. Generation 3 was actually like my first generation. Well, I believe I played Pokemon Red too. I started with Pokemon Red, I think. You can never play Pokemon? Yeah, it's a good time. I actually don't play many of the recent games just because I don't find them super fun. But I do play some competitive Pokemon, so that I do like. All right. Let's change this real quick. All right. So, if anyone here is new to joining and wasn't joining from the last stream, hey, I'm going to be playing some Pokemon. So, we're going to be playing some Pokemon Emerald / Pokemon Showdown. If y'all have a preference on what you want to see me play, or if you want to kind of do a tournament, if we have enough interest for that, just let me know in chat. But first, what I'm going to be showing off is something that I found, which it's basically a ROM hack of Pokemon Emerald, which called Emerald Trash Lock. So what Emerald Trash Lock is it's basically a mod of Pokemon Emerald. Let me actually hold on. Used to watch Pokemon back in my school days before stepped up of game. Wait, how did you level a Torchic to level 70 but not evolve it? That's a talent, honestly. For you watching your gameplay, since you forgot how to play, what skill sets, stuff like that. Cool. Yeah, I think I'll honestly just do a mixture of both if people want. But welcome anyone who's new. Let's post the check-in link. If you need to check in for the event, check-in link is in the chat right there. And if you want to play Pokemon Showdown, here is the link for that as well. Pokemon Showdown is basically just an online simulator where you can pick whatever Pokemon you want and battle against other people online. That's all it is. But first, I'm going to be showing an interesting little Pokemon Emerald mod made by a YouTuber, actually. And it's called Emerald Trash Lock Edition. And all it is, and it says right there, it's a hack with the goal of removing all the good Pokemon. So only really bad Pokemon are left. So I think this will be interesting. So let me know if you prefer me to do some competitive Pokemon or if you prefer me to play this for a little bit. Yeah, I'd be cool with doing a mix of both, just because I think both are interesting. So here we are in a truck abandoned by our parents. I'm not going to be going through the story or anything, just because Pokemon games have pretty mediocre story, in my opinion. Okay, so she wants us to go see Professor Birch's kid. Or is upstairs. I played this game quite a few times already. And unfortunately, we can't take this Pokemon. Where did that go? I actually didn't know that Pokeball disappeared. That's funny. And first, most important thing in the entire game, we have to play on set mode. And let's do this. Let's just save. Yeah, that's fine. Then I just had to make sure I save stated. And here's where we get our starter Pokemon. I'm gonna let y'all choose. So we can do Sunkern, which, fun fact, Sunkern has the lowest base stat total of any Pokemon ever. I think so. At least up until now in this game. We have Slugma. We have Goldeen. In fact, Goldeen does not learn in this game. It doesn't learn a water type move till like level 40. So if you thought you could use a water type move with Goldeen, you were wrong. But I'll give y'all a minute. So if you have a Pokemon that you want me to pick, I'll pick that. Otherwise, I'll just pick whoever. Sunkern, Slugma, or Goldeen. Let me change up the music too. Choose anyone, you'll do Pokemon speedrun. Yep. Yeah, I'll do that. Alright. Let's go with Sunkern. Why not? So actually surprised, it does have it has a grass type move. Which, given that it's the Trash Lock and it's supposed to be terrible Pokemon, I was kind of not expecting. It says, yay, thanks for saving me. Pokemon. Let's heal up real quick. And if you talk to this person, you get a free potion. And level up a little bit here. Hello, everyone. Hey, everyone. Hey, Armand, how's it going? I don't know much about Pokemon or the skills, so it's supposed to watch speedrun. Alright. Okay, that's actually very good. So we have growth now, which is very nice because what growth does is it increases your special attack by 1. I feel like I underestimated this torch. Yeah, I underestimated it. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, we got growth. It will need to be higher than level 6 because May was kind of whipping the floor with us. Level 8 maybe. Actually, just heal. And I think we just need one more kill. And in case y'all are interested, sometime later this week, I'm also going to be doing a stream on game design. I forget which day, but I think it's the last day of my might be the second part of the mobile app development stream. But basically, I'm going to be doing a stream on game design, and in that, I'm going to be going over some games and just kind of explaining some of the design considerations and some of the design aspects. So if you like watch me play games and stuff like that, I'm going to be playing some Overwatch and maybe some other games on that day. On growth. And we only healed once. There we go. And you send the link again. The link should be in chat. I sent the link to the check-in page, and I sent the link to Pokemon Showdown if you just want to play online. Is there a particular link you were referring to? All right, now we have Pokeballs. Yep, thanks Armand for sending that link. Let me get our running shoes. Thank y'all. Y'all are on top of it, sending those links. Also, one kind of fun fact about, because someone mentioned speedrunning, there's a fun fact about not Pokemon Emerald, but Pokemon Sapphire speedruns. So Pokemon Sapphire, so there's Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, they came out at the same time, and there's Pokemon Emerald, which was like an upgraded version, basically. So it's very interesting. So I actually want to know y'all's opinion on this. Out of every run, like every time someone tries to beat Pokemon Sapphire in a speed run, how many times do you think they succeeded in a run before they have to restart? I genuinely want to know, actually, because the answer is shocking. I'll fight this trainer and then I'll tell you. So it's actually 3%. Is 3% of all Pokemon Sapphire speedruns are successful. And the reason for that is that there's a specific fight on the path before Mauville City where you fight your rival. And basically on that path, your rival has basically the exact kind of Pokemon to kind of mess you up to where you have a very small percentage chance of winning that fight in a speedrun setting, because in that speedrun you're building your Pokemon in a way to where like you're only really leveling up your Mudkip or your Marshtomp, and you don't really care about anything else because you're just trying to beat it as fast as possible. So you have to use things like X attacks and X speeds in order to win the fight. And I lost that great. And you have to basically use those to win the fight, but there's a lot of really bad things that can happen during that fight, because if the Wingull that your rival has growls, you lose and you have to restart. And I think if they wing attack, you also have to reset because you don't have enough HP or something. I just thought that was funny. Will we play Showdown? Yeah, I was gonna play some Showdown, just show people what it's like, and then if we have enough people who are interested, then I was going to host a little Showdown tournament. But I also don't know how much time we have for that. But I think I'd like to, if people are interested. Let me get Showdown up. never watched a Pokemon speedrun, but Jaden Animations. Yeah, Jaden Animations does a lot of Pokemon speedruns actually. All right. So let's play some Pokemon. I'm trying to think what the best way to start off is. I think maybe we'll go from Generation 1 to Generation 9, if we can. Actually, I think I'll start off with just a Generation 9 game. So Generation 9 is the most recent game that came out. It's Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Yep, stream's working. Good, just wanted to check that. May want to take a rest for a bit. Too much screen time. I think you underestimate how much time I spent on a screen. It's unhealthy. You don't want to ask. Please don't ask. Watch the Flutter stream. It was awesome. Thank you. All right, we have an Avalugg. They have Jolteon. I'll go for Avalanche here just because Jolteon's faster. I'm not sure if it can one-hit KO me, but it might not be able to. And it's very frail. Nope, it's just switched. But that's good anyway because I chipped its balloon. So Heatran was holding an item called Air Balloon. And basically when you're holding that item, you're immune to ground moves, which Heatran is super weak to. But if you get hit, your balloon breaks. Let's see, they're probably going to go for a fire move. I'll go to Landorus, I think. Goes for Magma Storm, that does a lot. I'll go for Earth Power. I should be faster. Yeah, I'm definitely faster. Yep, I one-hit KO, because Heatran is a Fire Steel type. Fire and Steel are both weak to ground, so it has a 4 times weakness, so it gets like ultra killed. Alright, that went into Mudsdale. Okay, I'm gonna do kind of a big brain prediction here, but this Mudsdale, I'm predicting it's gonna go for like a rock move. I don't think it's gonna go for a ground move because, you know, I'm a flying type, so it wouldn't hit me. Now, Avalugg is 4 times weak to ground, so if I miscalculate this, I'm just gonna die. And I don't die. Okay, there we go. So now it has Drifloon. What I was going to do is, if it just attacked me, I was going to Terra Flying and then just attack it. And what Terrestrialization does is a unique mechanic in the most recent Pokemon game, which basically means once per battle, you can have one of your Pokemon transform into a certain type, which is like, you know, you determine that type based on like an item in the holds or something. I forget how you do it in the game, but I'm playing random battles right now, so it's just the team for both of us is random. Shadow Ball, Avalanche, boom, KO. So now we're up 2, which is very nice. Instead of a row I'm putting as a challenge, it can allow you to score widgets if it exceeds the screen size. Yeah, that was really cool. And also, it allowed you to, if you switch between portrait and landscape, it like auto resized the elements, which was really nice because you don't have to like build separately for like landscape or something. Which I like about Flutter because it's literally just like, if you alt enter on that line of code, you can basically auto make it so that it wraps with the row. Or wraps to the center, which otherwise, in some other stuff, it's not like pre-built like that, which I like. But they forfeited, so I guess we won that fight. But there's a lot of stuff here. I'm not going to explain all of this, but basically, there's a few different tiers of Pokemon right now. There's OU, which is the most played tier. It's basically, you know, popular Pokemon who are very strong, all the way down to UU, RU, and LC, which is Little Cup, which is like baby Pokemon. So it's just basically strongest to, you know, not very strong. And we played just a normal game just to kind of get the feel. get in groove. But what I'm gonna do is play some Generation 1. So this is the original Pokemon, like red, blue, yellow. This is that. And red, blue, and yellow were extremely broken Pokemon games. Like super ultra broken, like maybe one of the most buggy games of all time. So we're gonna play some of that. I'm gonna go for Body Slam here, just because Abra has a high special stat. And in this game, special is not special attack and special defense. In Generation 1, it's just one stat. So I'm gonna Body Slam because it'll do more damage. I'll Body Slam again. I also like how on Pokemon Showdown it kind of visually shows like the difference. It's not just like all 3D models. Alright, they send out Primeape. I think I can just switch to... I'll go Tangela. I'll go Submission, which is fine. Submission's a terrible move. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just like a really bad move because it deals like tons and tons of recoil to the user. I'm gonna go for Swords Dance because it's sleeping right now, and sleep is super mega overpowered in Generation 1. So basically, what you can do in Generation 1 is the Pokemon doesn't get... If a Pokemon wakes up from sleep, it doesn't get to attack on the same turn in Generation 1. It is like, oh, you woke up, but you don't get to attack on that same turn. So what you can do is, if someone wakes up, you can immediately put them back to sleep again, and it's very funny. Hey, Zane needs to go. Thanks for flooding on the stream. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for sticking around. I guess about this person setting the move, how was everyone's Wonder Break, by the way? Like, did y'all do anything fun? Like, did you make anything cool? Did you sleep a lot? Because if someone tells you that sleeping a lot isn't a good use of your time, I will argue with them because I love sleep. Because during my winter break, I slept so much, and I loved every second of it. Okay, looks like this person's just AFK, so I'll just forfeit so we can move on to Generation 2. So Generation 1 was red, blue, yellow. Generation 2 was, I believe, gold, silver, and crystal. So these were on like the Game Boy Color. These were also very good games. I think the first generations, well, probably generations 2 and 3 are probably some of my favorite, honestly. I think I'll just go for Earthquake here. I probably don't kill, but I probably do a decent amount of damage. Yep, I do 80. Does 50, that's fine. So I'll just Earthquake again, and it should KO, otherwise it will switch to something else. Have you played Scarlet Violet OU? Yep, I have. Oh, oops, let me make my move. What do I do here? We'll just go Fortress. I'm not really sure why it rested, but alright. Let me just spikes just to set up some entry hazards. So basically, whenever they have a Pokemon that switches in, they take a little bit of chip damage. Nice. Also, it'll swap back to Doug Trio. Yep, I'm immune. And you know, I'm gonna predict they're gonna switch because I kind of doubt they stay in here. So I'll go for sub. Yep, they don't stay in. I substitute. Bug has a resistance to ground, so I'll go for Rock Slide. I'll go into Fortress just to take some damage. I'll just Toxic. Hopefully it doesn't go into, they don't go into Nidoking here. Ah, they went into Magneton. Think they predict that? What are they gonna go for, honestly? I'll go into Victory Bell. Okay, they hidden power fired. I'll try and Sleep Powder. Oh, it's a speed tie actually, so it's 50-50 whether I go first or not. I mean, either way I live, but I'd rather not take the chip. Paramon. Okay, fell asleep. Let me Synthesis. Yep. Now another Hidden Power Fire doesn't kill me. Yep, HP ground kills. Let's see, Butterfree. Maybe 40? I think I'll just Toxic, but they're probably going to put me to sleep here. But Fortress isn't a terrible Pokemon to have sleep anyway, because it doesn't actually, like, yeah, it takes hits. Okay, they swapped to Mr. Mime, which isn't great because I have Hidden Power Bug. Go for Ice Punch. Nice. HP Bug takes it out. Heracross. I'll go for Toxic. Yeah, McHorn doesn't do anything. And I think I'll go for, honestly, just an HP Bug again. Oh, they have Rest. Let's see. I'll go Corsola, I guess. And I'll go for a surf. Surf does 31, that's fine. What does more? I think surf might do more than rock slide, but I'll try rock slide. Okay, they do about the same. Goes to Furt. Furt takes some chip. Let's see, I'll go for surf again. They go for Butterfree. I'll go for Fortress just to take the sleep, because I imagine they're going to sleep me. Or go for Grass move. Yep, they sleep me. That's fine. I'll go back to Corsola. Well, actually... Butterfree might have Mega Drain. Yeah, I'll go Corsola. If I die, I can switch to something else. I'll go for Rock Slide. Goes for sub, that's fine. I take Toxic Chip. Oh, well, I'm paralyzed. I'll go for Rock Slide again. Sleep Powder fails because I'm already paralyzed. I'll go Dugtrio, just because the stab would probably help secure a KO. Stab means same type attack bonus, so basically if you use a move that's the same type as your Pokemon, it does 1.5 times damage. Nice, taking that out. Yep, that's the importance of Chip right there. Heracross just dies from switching it because of the spikes damage. I think Earthquake should be all I need here. And boom, taken out. GG's. Alright. Let's move on to Gen 3. How's everyone doing, by the way? Do you find this mildly entertaining, at least? Yeah, I'm gonna be playing some Overwatch. I forget what day. I'll actually check. I believe it's on... I believe it's on Saturday is when I'm playing some Overwatch. So if you want to see that, you know, feel free to join on the stream then. All right, they have a Steelix. I'll go Camerupt. Take that. I'll Fire Blast here. They probably have Earthquake, but I think I'll be able to take it. Oh, and I crit. One shots. Yeah, Gen 3 was Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, which was like one of my favorite Pokemon games. And one of my like favorite Pokemon games of all time is actually Pokemon like Coliseum and XD. Those are some kind of more obscure games, but I really like them. Right, what are they gonna switch to? Everyone having fun with Global Hack Week so far? Was there anything cool you learned or anything like that? Anything funny you saw one of the streamers do? Just get a drink of water real quick. Alright, I think this person's AFK, so let me just go to Gen 4. Alright. Latias versus Mamoswine. Question is, do I two-shot with Ice Shard? I'm not sure if I do. Because Latias has some bulk to it. Okay, so I'll get my rocks up, and then I'll go for Ice Shards. I might just one-shot me. Well, now I think it definitely one-shots me with Psychic, actually. Let's see. See, I'll try going into Turbo Pass here because I like having Ice Shard. I'll Toxic here. I could Thunder Wave, but I think Toxic would be better for Latias just because it's very bulky and it wants to stay in. Toxic. I'm not going to go Earth Power because it has left tape, so ground type moves miss. So I don't expect Power Gem to do a lot. Chipping a little bit is fine here. And I honestly don't have anything else that can really take a Psychic. Boom, we got a crit. And, that's the poison. That was a very, very well-timed crit. Because otherwise Probopass would have fainted. Go to Rachi debate, Latias into another move besides Psychic. I could have. Alright, Sudowoodo. I think I'll just sack Probopass here because I don't think I want anything to take Sudowoodo's hit. Oh, it goes for Stealth Arc anyway, which is fine. Does it go into a flying type Pokemon? It might. Nope. Let's see, Gorbis. I think Gorbis I will Thunder Wave. Yep, it just takes me out with Surf. That's fine. Yeah, I'll go into Jirachi. I think I'll set up one Calm Mind. Because I am faster. Do I get greedy and set up a second? I think I will, just because I'm faster. Might have gotten a bit too greedy there. I'll sub in... Oh, well, actually I'm not faster. Let's see. I'll go for Flash Cannon because it's stab. Fix it out. That's a crit. Getting a lot of crits, jeez. I don't know speed, but Pidgeot is a Pidgeot, and it can't really do much to me. So if I'm playing with you, thanks a lot. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for playing with me too. They left. Alright, I'll move on to Generation 5. And to people who are somewhat familiar with competitive Pokemon, they actually recently had a pretty big ban in Generation 5 at OU, which was they banned the use of gems, just like altogether. So gems, if you don't know, they're an item specific to Generation 5, and what they do is they're a one-time use consumable item that basically increase the power of a move that's the same type as your item by 50%. So for example, if you have like a fighting gem and your move does 60 damage, it would instead do 90 damage. Alright. Pelipper. I have faster, I'll just go up and get Sleep Powder. U-turns, that's fine. You go for Unpheasant. I'm faster, so I'll go U-turn. I'll go to Gigalith, set up some sand. Oh, it doesn't have Sand Rush. Or Sands. Sandstream. That's the ability I was thinking of. I could go Rock Blast. It's probably gonna switch though, so I'll just go for Stealth Rocks. Let's see. I'll go for Jump Fluff. Yep, I went for Earthquake. Fortunately, I don't have Grass move on Jump Fluff. But I'll go for another Sleep Powder. This time it hits. I'll U-turn. Yep, they stay in. I'll go into Keldeo. Do I go for a Calm Mind? I'm faster, I'll go for a Calm Mind. Oh, it woke up. Okay, it went for U-turn. That's fine. Alright, they go into Vaporeon. That's fine. I think I'll just go for the HP Grass because it might have Haze or something. So I'll go HP Grass. That's Toxic. Go for another one. Might switch out. Nope, just stays in. All right, they go into Pelipper. I honestly kind of find losing the boost here because Keldeo is very valuable. I'll go Jump Bluff. There goes for Scald. Glad it didn't go into anyone else, because on anyone else that burn would have been kind of bad, actually. I'll go for another Sleep Powder. Yep, Sleep Powder. I'll go for a Leech Seed. The Toxic isn't great. I think I'll just keep going for Sleep Powder until I hit it. Yep, I hit it. Now U-turn out. I'll go Dunsparce. I'll go for Rock Slide just because that's super effective. Hopefully I don't get burned. Nice, I don't get burned. I'll go for Headbutt, actually. That was a crit, so if they're probably going to risk again, because that's unlikely amount of damage. So I'll go for Coil here, just to boost my attack. The Toxic here, which actually isn't too bad, just because, like, just because then I won't get burned. I'll go for Coil, just so they don't keep whittling me down. Scald is such a good move. Sad that I got restricted in Gen 9. I'm honestly not too sad about that personally, just because I thought Scald was very annoying. Like, it had the 30% chance, which is just, like, crazy for what it was. So, I'm not too sad about it. One thing I'm, like, very sad about, though, is Pursuit. I feel like Pursuit got shafted. It should not have gotten removed. I have no idea why Pursuit got removed, but Pursuit was, like, a very healthy move. Like, there was a genuine, like reward to, like, being tactful, and some Pokemon just, like, didn't turn out well because, you know, they don't have it anymore. I'll go Carnivine. They put the rocks up, that's fine. I'll do Sub, but then I'll Power It. Next Scissor. I missed my Power Whip. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just KO with Keldeo. Let's see. Oh, it's a speed tie. I'll go Gigalith again, I think. And honestly, I'll just Rock Blast here. Yeah, it was annoying, but it gave Bulky Waters an answer to Rillaboom Kartana. That is true. That is true. Pursuit is cool. Latias disagreed, though. Yeah. Honestly, one thing I was very excited to see was the Stakeout ability plus Pursuit. So Let's see what I do. Oh, good jump off. So what stakeout does is if a Pokemon switches out and you attack them, if you have the stakeout ability, I believe it does double damage or something like that. And Pursuit also has a similar effect, so it would have like been multiplicative there. So I thought that would have been really cool. Let's see. Definitely outspeed. I'll go. Oh, I don't KO. I'll sleep powder here just because I think that's a bit more valuable. Because I'll die from toxic. No. Kind of a rough spot. I think I'll go to Dunsparce and roost up. I'll coil. Just because otherwise Pelipper's just going to roost me forever. Oh, wait, did I miscalculate that? Oh, yeah, it's Pelipper's faster, so I get KO'd here. Yeah. I'll just explode here. I don't have much else to do, honestly. Yeah, I get KO'd. Keldeo can't do anything. I think I just have to hope that I don't get burnt. Oh, it actually switched. I guess I'll gear grind. Oh, that's so close. Yep, that's pretty much GG's there. I think this will be my last game for tonight, just because it is very late where I am. But see if we can do this. Take out. Oh yeah, that's right. They wouldn't stack. Never mind. Take out really good on threats that people switch around. Yeah, it's just not like I don't know. Gumshoes just isn't very good. Let's see, 2v2. That's a big bird. I mean, I kind of gotta go Chi-Yu because it's busted. I think Energy Ball in general is pretty good. think I'll Terra Poison, just so, I don't know, if Graballa wants to do any shenanigans. NSGU, their team has no switch into it. To be fair, most teams don't have a switch into GU, let's be honest. GU is a fun mon. Let me double check actually when. Why does GU have a physical moveset? In Challenge Cup, I believe Pokemon are given very irregular movesets. I'm not sure why though. But to get the entry ball off, it Shadow Forces. Yeah, like it gets like all these random moves. It does actually get Fire Blast. Just energy ball here. Let's see. Let's see, my next stream will be tomorrow. Oh, and it's going to be 8 to 10 p.m. EST. And it's going to be how to prepare for technical interviews. So if you all want to see that, it's going to be tomorrow, 8 to 10 p.m. EST. And the Phantom Force event, again, big surprise. Oh, they take me out. Crap. Hopefully this is enough. I don't think it KOs me. Hopefully not. Oh wait, that was the reason it KO'd. It was a crit. I was about to say choose part Dark Tag. Yep, does that again. Into Forces doesn't kill. Acrobatics kills. GG's. Alright. That was last stream for today. So, I'm just going to quickly go over it again. Tomorrow, 8 to 10 p.m. EST is my preparing for technical interview stream. Then on Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. EST, I'm going to do an intro to game design stream where I'm going to be playing some Overwatch. Maybe some other games. I'm talking about some of their design decisions and kind of how you can kind of go about balancing a game, especially in FPS. And I'll also be doing my part 2 of my building your first mobile app set of streams. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody, and I'll see y'all next time.